Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Making Moves with Max. Last time we just started talking about building a movement practice, a workout regimen, getting back in tune with your body, and I had touched up on your hands and how to explore them. And as we continue to talk, I'll pick specific parts, and the principles that I'm using here are very deeply based in functional range conditioning. And of course, everything else that I practice, bodybuilding, yoga, movement culture, all those things come into play. And of course, research deeper yourself those things as, you hear me say them, or if they are of interest, and ask questions and we can explore them together. Last time we did the wrists. Let's continue kind of with the arms. We'll exclude the elbows from now. They're minimal. They're very important. There's not one joint that's not important to explore. But to get started and motivated, we'll add what we learned with the wrists in terms of being explorative, right? Assess, test, and then reassess, right? We'll assess our wrists. Today we'll assess our scap and shoulders, right? Your scapular cars. And I'll be more deliberate about these cars because these tend to feel really good. The wrists and elbows can we may not feel it. We may not feel anything at first, but we do see the progress in the things that we are capable of asking our bodies to do once we start to explore those, right? So in terms of your scap, again, find a kneeling position or a comfortable position. You can even do the seated all the time. Like I said, with the wrist, you can figure out while you're in the car, wherever you're sitting, you can start to do these things, right? All right, and we're gonna go into elevation, retraction, depression, and protraction. Now I can also be elevated and protracted. I can also be depressed and retracted, right? And it's moving through those by themselves. Down, making space, and seeing what comes to mind there. Right, just my shoulders. And I can or just my scap. I can change how they're loaded a bit by keeping my hands straight, but also still focusing on them. Even out to the sides. Elevation, protraction, depression, protraction, depression, retraction, elevation, retraction. Right? And again, those terms will come to be, I said, minimal jargon, but it's good to learn the planes of motion, better explain them and kind of absorb all those terms and use them whatever. We're going again, we'll dive deeper into that. And as I was doing my scap, I realized the neck is important too, right? It's part of that connection. And while it's just easier to go through it, or even as we say in FRC, we start from the inside, right? Deeper to the superficial, out, right? So again, let's get with the neck, right? Give me a couple of chin juts forward. I like to call it typewriter neck. Try to bring your chin over to your shoulder. Maybe you combine those two, kind of snake charmer, just to prime it. We'll test this too, just like we did our scaps. Test what's going on with them before loading them. All right, jut the chin forward. Not moving anything else, keeping everything tight. Imagine crushing a water balloon under your chin. Right. Now drag that water balloon over to the left shoulder. Don't bring anything else along for the ride. Keep that shoulder back, shoulders over hips. Left ear to the left shoulder. Tilt the head back into the left. Think about sitting tall. I just noticed myself starting to hunch, so I'll adjust. Tilt the head back into the left. With your chin, draw a line across the ceiling. And that's definitely giving me some knowledge about what's going on in my neck and how I'm holding that tension. Bring your chin all the way to your right shoulder. Ear to the right shoulder. Crush that water balloon again. Bring your chin to your chest. And that's half of a repetition, because, right, we go all the way around. Again, jut that chin forward. Crush that water balloon. Drag that chin over to the right. Ear to the shoulder. Tilt the head back and to the right. With your chin, draw a line across the ceiling. Checking at its highest point, bring the chin back over that left shoulder. Ear to the left shoulder. Chin crushes that water balloon and drags back to center. Good, excellent. All right, covered the scap and the neck. Again, getting more deliberate. We're being more deliberate about our exploration. Could have done the same thing with the wrists, right, in all directions. And you can always go back to that and apply the principles that we learned in the videos that come up to every joint and everything that we continue to learn. Now we'll go through the shoulders. Let's do them both together. Again, we're starting the practice. We're getting used to our body, right? So we're going to reach in opposite directions, right? Reaching out, spread those fingers. Now, wiping sweat from your brow with both biceps. Bring the arms up to the sides. Still trying to keep my shoulders, hips in line. Internally rotate at the shoulders, right? Turn those thumbs. Reach back. If there's an obstacle, just adjust. Turning in and bringing the backs of the palms to the sides of your hips. Good. Squeezing my triceps. Checking with the protraction and retraction, right? What am I doing? I don't want that to happen, right? So much. Keep it in line. And then we'll reverse that. Reach the arms back. Squeeze into the triceps. Thumbs are still trying to kind of turn further in. We want to now turn them out once we've reached back as far as we can. Bring them back up, over, and back to the sides. Good. And those little preliminary moves. Now that your shoulders, scap, neck is all prepped, take it back to where we started, right, originally. And we loaded in that tabletop position, that all fours. Again, right? Retraction, protraction. If I went through my wrists first and then my shoulders, they're both better in tune. Again, do I take it all the way up to that push-up position and work them there? Load them. Play. We don't want to keep it too long. We'll build on it. So we've done the wrists, neck, our scap, and our shoulders. All right, and try those out. Shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. And continue to try out the same principles of those squeeze and moving through the joints everywhere else, even before you know what it's supposed to be. That way you're just spending time learning how to move. And that time spent, wherever it may be, will translate into better movement when you're being deliberate at the gym or doing whatever workouts and how we build onto here. Till next time, my people.